Hi friends, we're together again today and we're going to be making our May hat. So here's an example of what it will end up looking like. Let's read it together. It says, May is the month that flowers grow in rainbow colors all aglow. And so we have our hat with some flowers on it. I bet if you've been out walking in your neighborhood, you guys are seeing a lot of flowers right now. My backyard looks really pretty with all the flowers that are blooming. I love to go out there and sit there in the morning. So let's take in your packet that you got. You should be able to find this sheet that has is the month that flowers grow. And then you should have a little baggie that has kind of that turquoise or blue color square and rectangle in there. And we're gonna work on this together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write May up at the top because it's the month of May now. So I'm gonna use an uppercase letter because we always write our months with an uppercase letter first. So I wrote my uppercase A. May is actually a really short month to spell, M-A-Y. That's also a word, may, like may I use the restroom, but it's the name of our month this month. So this is pretty simple. I'm gonna take out the stuff that's inside my bag and I'm gonna glue down my hat first. So remember when I'm gluing my hat, I'm gonna go take my square, which has 4 sides and 4 corners, and all my sides are the same length. And I'm gonna glue my square down a little bit higher than the top so I have room for the brim. Remember, I'm gonna push it down really well, make sure all the corners are sticking down. And I'm gonna take my rectangle that has 2 long sides and 2 short sides, and I'm gonna glue that down on the bottom, make it like the brim of my hat. So now that my hat is made, I get to make all my pretty flowers. I'm actually gonna start out by putting some stems. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'll take my green rectangle and I'm just gonna cut long strips. So I'm gonna hold it the tall way and I'm gonna cut some long strips for the stems of my flowers. Now I don't know how much stuff I have here for my flowers, so I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna glue those down yet, but I'm gonna take my yellow square and I'm gonna cut it in half. So now I have 2 rectangles. And then I'm gonna take my yellow rectangle and cut that in half. And I'm gonna do it to the other one. So now I have some squares where I can cut out my circles for the center of my flower. So I'm gonna give the corners a little haircut and I'm gonna turn my paper, not my scissors. I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit more to make a smaller circle, but you don't have to, you can keep them big. I make kind of an oval, but that's okay. Flowers can have an oval middle too. And I'm gonna cut all of those down. The next one I do, you guys will see, I'm gonna do the magic trick. You're getting pretty good at that too. You can do it with all 4, it depends how big your scissors are, it might be hard. So I'm just gonna put my 2 together at the same time and cut off those corners. And then give it a haircut and round those corners to make it a circle. A little haircut. Give that a little haircut. So it looks like I'm gonna have enough paper for 4 flowers. You can decide, not all of our stems have to have buds on them yet or the center of the flower, but I'm only gonna use 4 of my strips that I cut. So the way I'm gonna do that, remember if you're gluing really skinny pieces or small pieces, you can rub your finger with that across the glue stick. So I just did that and I'm gonna glue down 1 and I'm putting it kind of at an angle this way and I'll glue. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slide it across here. And I'm going to make the bottom of this stem touch the bottom of this stem that's already glued down. Oops, that slid away from me a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing with all 4 flowers, or all 4 stems, I should say. I'm going to make it touch the bottom of that stem there. And I think I have room for this stem to go in between those 2. Right here. Now I get to glue down the center of my flowers. So for this one, I think I might actually put it down on my paper. It's a little bit bigger. Go all around and glue down the centers of my flowers. Now you also can decide whether or not you want petals, flower petals on all your flowers, or just on one of them. So in the example I showed you, this one only had petals on one of the flowers, if you can see that one there. I'm going to show you how to cut the petals. So you have an orange piece of paper that's a square where you can cut your petals. And I would do this. I'm going to cut a strip off, and then I'm going to cut my strip in half. And after I have my strip cut in half, I'm going to cut off my corners on one of them. And it gets tricky because it's small now, and give it a little haircut. So it's almost like making a tall mountain. And then I have a petal for my flower here. I'm going to take that other one. I'm only going to cut off 2 of the corners. Give it a little haircut to round out those corners. Remember, I'm using the glue stick. I'm sliding it across with my finger. And then I get to do that again. So I'm going to cut a strip. Cut my strip in half. Now, if you want to do a magic trick, just like we've done before, you can put those together at the same time and cut 2 petals at once. Slide it across and slide it across. And I think I might stop here. I like how that looks with just the flowers just starting to bloom. So I hope you had a great time making this, and I can't wait to see yours. We'll read it again one more time. It says, May is the month that flowers grow in rainbow colors all aglow. Bye, friends.